All right, good evening. We're going to call the regular meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Weltman, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And would you please remain standing? We had an unfortunate event happen, the passing of one of our board members. Shortly after the September board meeting, Marg Benton passed away. She was a great board member. She had kids in mind at all times with everything she did. I had lots of conversations with Marg about school and boards and cooking and all kinds of other things. She was just a wonderful, well-rounded person who is going to be truly missed by all of us here on the board, in the district, in the community. She was very active in Rotary, very staunch Rotarian. She was also on the hospital board, and she was just a well-rounded person. Probably one of the things that you probably are all going to be surprised at is the fact that she was a quick draw person. Who would ever think that Marg would ever pull a gun on a target? But you know, she just had lots of interests, lots of things going for her. She had a baking business going on and cooking business here in town. She was a professional chef. She took lessons from Julia Child. She cooked great stuff. If you ever ate her stuff, it was wonderful. But here as a board member, she was dedicated to this too. And she's truly going to be missed. She was a wonderful, wonderful person to have around, have conversations with, and she's going to be truly missed. So I'd like to have a moment of silence for Mark. Thank you very much. Next item is approval of the agenda. Dr. Marshall, is there anything?
No changes.
No changes. All right. Need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Martinez, seconded by Ms. Moran to accept the agenda as presented. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? It's carried unanimously. All right. Any member of the public may request that item be placed on any future agenda by submitting that request to the superintendent in writing at least 2 weeks prior to a regularly scheduled board meeting. Members of the audience that are here tonight that wish to comment on any item that is on our agenda may do so when that item comes up before us, and come up to the podium and you will be recognized. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. If there are multiple speakers on an agenda item, you'll have a total of 20 minutes to speak. Members in the audience that are here tonight that wish to speak on any item that is not on tonight's agenda, you may do so in a second when I say so. And you will again come up to the podium, and you will have 3 minutes to speak to us. If there are multiple speakers on the same topic, there's a total of 20 minutes altogether. So with that being said, is there anybody here tonight that wishes to make a comment to the board that is not on tonight's agenda? Please come forward. Seeing nobody running up here, we are going to go ahead and go on to the next item on our agenda, which is our student representative report. Jacinta, welcome. Whose mic are you going to use here? Okay, there we go.
Okay, hello everybody, good evening. My name is Jacinta Brown. I am LBUSD student representative from Los Banos High School. I have 2 reports for you tonight, one from Pacheco and one from Los Banos. So we'll start off with Pacheco. This is for the month of September. September kicked off with a senior parent meeting on the 1st. Information for the entire year was given to seniors and their parents. September 12th through 16th was PHS ASB's hosted Kindness Week, which promoted challenges to students to show off their kindness. September 14th, Pacheco High was the host for the WAC Sportsmanship Conference. Attendees from all 8 WAC schools participated in a morning of working together and promoting the sportsmanship within the league. And I was there. It was great. Pacheco did a phenomenal job. September 16th, Friday morning football from ABC 30 was an on-campus rally for an energetic morning rally. September 24th, PHS Band and Color Guard took part in the Pittman Parade of Champions. All of the groups that took part finished near the top of their classes. September 26th through 30th was a busy homecoming week at Pacheco. The 26th kicked off the week with Powder Puff, seniors winning 30-6. Wednesday was a very well-attended night rally at Veterans Stadium. Friday was the homecoming parade, followed by the game against Lathrop and a halftime fireworks show. 4 members of the Pacheco Choir worked hard in preparation for the Regional Honor Choir at Fresno State. California has 3 regional honor choirs: Central, Coastal, and South. Students auditioned from all over the state to be in the regional ensembles and for a chance to participate in the California All-State Honor Choir. To prepare for the audition, each student had to memorize and sing an art song in Italian, recite multiple scales and triads from memory, and sight read an unknown piece of music in front of 2 judges. Daisy Aubrey was accepted into the California Central Region Honor Choir. She will participate in 3 days of rehearsals in Stockton with Dr. Choi, which is a professional at UOP, culminating in a concert at Delta College on Saturday, November 19th. This is a great honor for our school and for Daisy. Fall sports are slowly wrapping up. Girls golf, football, and volleyball all have positioned themselves to compete for a playoff spot. Using our 5-star program, we have been able to see a big jump in participation on campus. 73% of the Pacheco population has been marked as involved on campus. 62% of the campus have attended at least one event, with 47% having attended at least 2 events. Over half of the campus are participating in at least one activity as well. That concludes Pacheco's report. On to Los Banos High School. School news. September 16th was LBHS's homecoming. They had their annual homecoming parade at the halftime event. They had another mini parade with all of the homecoming royalty and floats. The class of 2024 won the float competition. The senior homecoming royalty was Jacinta Brown and Mark Carrero, to myself. Los Banos High School had their homecoming dance on September 17th. Almost 350 students attended the dance. The theme was Friday Night Lights, Camera, Action, and Hollywood themed. English teacher Mr. Josh Smith donated his time to provide the DJ services, and students loved him. He was great. Clubs have been meeting regularly and are underway. There are over 30 active clubs at LBHS. On September 24th, students in the Environmental Club and Club Advisor Mr. Salas attended a city event planting trees at the Regency Park in town. The club will be having a parking lot cleanup on Thursday, September 29th, and plans to coordinate another event with the city to help plant trees in another location within the next few months. On September 24th, the LBHS Band and Color Guard attended their first marching competition of the year at Pittman High School in Turlock. The band received 3rd place, just 0.5 points away from first. The Color Guard received 2nd place in their division. They are getting ready for their next marching competition in Santa Cruz on Saturday, October 15th. On September 29th, students in the Environmental Club, along with their advisor, Mr. Salas, had a community service event where they stayed after school to clean up and collect trash around campus. On September 30th, LULAC Club and Spanish Honor Society celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month by passing out pan dulce and hot chocolate to students before school. LULAC will be holding another event in November for Dia de los Muertos. Journalism students have published 2 times with over 30 new articles. The next edition is on October 7th. Check them out at PawPrint News at lbhspawprint.com. Interact Club and FFA will begin hosting their Socktober event. For the month of October, the Interact Club and FFA will be collecting socks to donate to a local homeless shelter. Sports news. Tiger football is off to a 3-0 start in league. The Tigers will celebrate their senior night on October 14th, which is tomorrow evening, versus series. The gym has undergone a transformation as we have added some custom stickers throughout to further brand the look of the gym. Come by and check it out, or check LB Tiger Nation on Instagram for photos. Varsity girls and boys water polo are off to great starts. At the halfway point of league, the boys are tied for 2nd and the girls are in 3rd. The girls' teams also recently competed in the El Capitan tournament and came home with the championship in the silver bracket. Tennis is in the 2nd place, suffering only 1 loss in league so far. Girls golf has a chance of finishing in the top 3 as they wind down their season. Boys and girls cross country have finished 2 of their 4 league meets. and the girls' team is tied for second, while the boys' team continues to improve each meet. Girls volleyball is in the middle of the pack in the league as they just started the second half of the league season. Winter sports of soccer, wrestling, and basketball get underway on October 31st. LBHS's athletic director, Joe Barcelos, was asked to speak at a breakout session for the San Joaquin athletic directors at a conference in Sacramento. His topic was branding and promoting your athletic program. And lastly, FFA news. FFA collected 143 bottles of vitamins to donate to students in Guatemala at their school, Jardín de Amor, which is built by one of our local teachers at the district, Jennifer Barcelos. On September 21st, FFA had its annual pork loin drive-thru dinner. They sold 325 dinners. The profit from this event helps fund trips, events, and activities that FFA puts on throughout the year. And that concludes my reports. Thank you.
Great job. Oops, wasn't on. Great job. Thank you. Good job. Lots of great information there. Next on the agenda is California School Employees Association. Do we have a report tonight? All right, seeing none. Los Spanish Teachers Association. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Denise Clark Silvera, and I'm a member of the LBTA Executive Board, and I'm here on behalf of Jennifer Wilkin, our president. First, a hearty congratulations to our incumbent board members, Lieb, Pereira, and Smith, who are running unopposed and will retain their seats for another term. And believe it or not, we are at the end of the first quarter and nearing the end of the first trimester, which means we are a third of the way through the school year. We've all settled into our schedules and our routines, and the students have definitely finally made themselves at home again. It also means that we are in the long fall stretch. Hopefully we'll see some fall weather soon to go along with that. If you look around any campus right now, you'll see very tired staff. It's only October, but we are all feeling it. We know this is something you've heard many times, and we hate that it's already happening so close to the beginning of the year, but it's the reality. District-wide staff absenteeism is up. No doubt one of the effects of COVID. We've spent the last 3 years hearing, stay home if you're sick, practice self-care, put yourself first, and some of us have really internalized that. Unfortunately, when we do this, we often are causing extra work for our colleagues, as substitutes are at a premium and generally there are not enough available. When this is the case, sites turn to their teachers for coverage. I don't know of any teacher who has not been asked to cover a class or take students for a colleague who does not have a sub. Additionally, staff members are often asked to provide extra supervision before or after school, as well as at recess. Yes, this is voluntary, and yes, we are compensated, but when we do it, our work is still waiting for us to get done. At the secondary level, it means an hour of grading after contract hours, getting prep done. Sometimes it means doing your best not to get your lunch on the papers that you happen to be grading. If you're an elementary level teacher, it means up to 11 extra bodies who may or may not be in the grade level that you're currently teaching. And they will be in your classroom, and you must find work for and monitor them. I challenge you to teach 43 sixth graders for an entire day in one room that is set up for 34. When classified staff is out, there is not always a sub to come in to replace them. We have classrooms that don't get cleaned daily. Admin is stretched thin, and classified is barely keeping their heads above water. We all see the effect each person is putting in, the effort each person is putting in, and the sacrifices that they are making daily, but this is truly taking a toll on all of us. School staff members are people too. We have lives, families, and friends outside of our jobs. We truly hope that you are all taking into account the amount of work that goes into running a school and educating our students. We need the support from everyone right now. Speaking of support, we would like to offer LBTA-endorsed school board candidate Dana Valadeo our best wishes for her campaign for the District 7 seat. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, superintendent's report. Dr. Marshall.
Okay, thank you. I want to first start by thanking the secondary principals and Mr. Fidusco for your help with the advertisement for the Merced College LBUSD dual enrollment presentation. I mean, it was a big hit. We had lots of parents there. It was very well received, and your promotion really made it possible. Next, I want to do, if you see on the screen, I have a special facilities report. This is not the report like an update of what we do every month. This is just more of a comprehensive look, because a lot of times we'll get questions about different sites and facilities and why isn't this project done. So I just want to just give a comprehensive look at what's happened over the last few years and kind of what's ahead, and more importantly, the cost associated with all of these projects. So let's, Amir, you gonna work through this? Okay, perfect. So we're gonna start off with what constitutes facilities. You have three types. You have new construction, when we try to modernize existing buildings, and then the one that often gets overlooked is just the routine repair and the maintenance. That's a big deal. We're gonna talk about that a little bit more as we go. Next. So how are they funded? How do we fund our facilities? We have several sources. Well, one of the primary sources, I think, with the current administration in Sacramento, they were very good about, as far as when the state owed us all this money for construction projects, they were very good about releasing it. So we've gotten lots of refunds for things that we'd already done previously. Then we have developer fees. There's also Measure X monies, bond proceeds. Then we have restricted routine maintenance funds. I'm going to get into that in a minute. And as far as we have a communities facilities district, and then there's competitive grants. And we're going to hear about this. We've been very aggressive about trying to get external money to kind of move us along. And we have a presentation tonight that's going to kind of cover that. But if you see this in the asterisk about a few of those topics, what that says is those funds only can be used for as far as student growth. You can't spend on anything else. It's just any kind of growth of population growth, it has to be spent on that. All right, and I have that asterisk there. Next, please. All right, so where do we get the input for our projects? A few years back, we did a master facilities plan, and that kind of informs, in terms of, they give you suggestions in terms of you might want to replace the AC units or your fire alarms. Because if you have buildings around the same age, what you'll see happen is if one goes down, I can promise you that the other one's going to go down if they build around the same time. It's just that simple. We have a subcommittee of the board that looks at facilities. I have an advisory group that we kind of look at the scope and sequence and we make recommendations to the board. We are very good at going out for grants. And then there's a bond oversight committee. Next. So let's look at some of the completed projects that we've done so far. I mean, this is kind of over the last 4 to 5 years. You look, we added buildings at Pacheco, at Volta, at San Luis. We built a new elementary school, Grasslands. One thing that you have to note, whenever you add on to an existing building, to bring it up to code, they make you do things to to get it current. So at Volta, they got a new water tank, plus they got some parking lot upgrades. LFE and Creekside, shade structures. And what I've done is I've put the cost next to what these items cost, because I think that's important to see. Los Banos High School, when the school broke, when Pacheco opened, they moved some of the restrooms to Volta. When they started growing in students again, we had to add a portable restroom. And then when we built the new school at Grasslands, one thing that's required, the city required that we put a traffic light there. And our portion was $1 million, that's what we had to pay to do that. Right? Next. Here's what we're working on now. I talked about this before. These are the current projects. We have Lofton Stadium Phase 1. If you drive down on 7th Street, you can see it. Henry Miller parking lot, you can see it from Pacheco Boulevard. The science wing at Pacheco High School, that's almost complete. I think they're waiting on the HVAC system. The LB parking lot, that project is in design phase. I think there's a rendering, a drawing of it. And then sometimes there are things that are unforeseen. When you have issues as far as we have to make sure that our intercom systems and stuff like that all those things work. And so you'll get a project like that we're working on. So basically, these are things that we're working on as well. Let's go to the next slide, please. Now, this is something that I wanted that we don't. I talked about earlier about maintenance, like the routine maintenance and repair. These are things that get done every year. Now, I think I have on there, I called the term underestimated because we just took a snapshot right now. And I think if anybody went back and really dug into it, it'd probably be a lot more money. But if you look at things in terms of, I just did a snapshot of what we've spent money on so far as painting. This is stuff every year that we have to do. Roofing, the cost of the swimming pool at Pacheco, parking lot repair, a biggie, like when you go in the office, you have these nice cameras, there's a cost to that. Fencing, HVAC repair, electrical repair, fire alarms. This is not the big stuff, but the regular stuff. Plumbing, lighting, carpentry, sound systems, grounds. This is just a snapshot of what we do every year. Okay, next. Here's some projects that will have to get done. I mean, they all won't be able to get done at one time because, as you see at the bottom price tag, that's a pretty nice price tag. But these projects have to get done. One that's coming up real soon is the TK. We have to, by 2025, we have to have a plan in place to because they've been putting lots of money into TK. And we have to have a facility to serve those students. As we get more kids to come, you have to have somewhere to put them. So that has to get done. Land for 2 elementary schools. I mean, you can drive around this town and see all the construction. At some point, I mean, we have a couple of sites, Grasslands, one, and Lorena Velasco, and that's on the north side of town that are very full. So you have, and these are just options in terms of, because you have to deal with it, like potentially portable classrooms for those 2 sites. We have to look at 2 elementary schools. Once we get the land, and you can look at that price tag. I mean, Grasslands cost $28 million, and that was a couple of years ago, so I'm sure the price of tag will be more. You look at, just elementary at the junior high. At Creekside, there was space for expansion there. Shade structures, again. At Mercy Springs, I think we cut down some trees, and unintended consequences, the kid needs shade, so you have to put a shade structure there. Grassland, same thing, shade structure. You see the price tag on those. At Charleston, I mean, we've been dealing this week with as far as the well. Those things, I mean, that's an unforeseen type situation. We're going to have to replace that well at some point. You look at as far as plumbing improvements at Charleston and Volta, the older sites. If you look at around the same time, I mean, with the plumbing issues, it tends to happen around the same time with similarly aged buildings. Elevator repair, fire alarm repair, and you see the grand total. Next. So I wanted to just show that because that's our reality. You know, funds come, they come into one, you saw that one check that I showed there as a sample, and then in terms of it's just budgeting. But I want to kind of go over that, and then next one, I want to do this every month. And I think next month what I'm going to talk about is, the ESSER stuff, because that's going to be sunsetting here pretty soon, and I need to give you an update on that. All right. I want to close with kind of more on a somber note. I had the chance to attend a celebration of life for Mark Benton. Great lady, excellent trustee. I mean, she really knew her role. She was about students first. When I talked about her, I mean, I kind of talked about it from a personal lens, how when I had surgery, minor surgery, but she reached out to me and, and just said, hey, do you need anything? Next day, I'm at home resting, get a knock at the door. She'd made me some homemade soup. Didn't ask her to do it. She did. Her husband was, just dropped it off, and, because I didn't feel like cooking all the week, after that. So, but it was nice of her to do that. But another thing that I didn't speak on that I need to really highlight is that anytime a superintendent comes into a community and on any entry plan, basically there are certain things that he or she must do as far as acclimating yourself to that community, meeting key stakeholders and stuff like that. So I remember coming to Los Banos after I was selected, and she contacted me. She said, could you come? What time are you planning on getting here? And I said the time. So she said, could you come a little earlier? And she took me around all over Los Banos. We went to the college. She took me to the Chamber of Commerce. We went to City Hall. I mean, she introduced me to all the key people in Los Banos. She also helped me find my first place to live. 'Cause I had a dog, so, I had to find, a place that was pet-friendly. So she even helped me with that. So we really lost a good person, and I think, right, for me personally, it hasn't really kicked in yet, that, I think seeing this tonight kind of just brought it home for me, because one of the last conversations we had was she was all about students. She was asking me about a policy. And she's like, teachers asked me about this policy. I mean, she really cared about staff. She said, I need this information so when teachers contact me, I'm able to kind of respond to them. Could you send me that? And I did send her the information, but we never got a chance to talk about it. So I'm always going to think about that. But I wanted to just end on that note. So that concludes my report.
Oops. Thank you, Dr. Marshall. Okay, on to a facility report. Mayor?
Well, good morning, good evening. We have a new member. Her name is Sherry Mundy. She's the new facility manager. The last place she worked was Santa Clara Unified School District. And Sherry, the stage is yours.
Good evening, board members, President Pereira, and Dr. Marshall. It's my pleasure to do my first facilities update report tonight. Now we're reporting on the 3 current projects that are underway right now. So first, Pacheco High School, new science wing. This project is slightly behind schedule and is due to a delay in the delivery of the HVAC units. Our contractor has provided the following information regarding the delay. Modern Air Mechanical, the subcontractor, released the units for fabrication on September 8th, 2021, with a requested delivery date of December 12th, 2021. As of July 21st, 2022, the district became aware of the potential delay in the delivery of the units. The contractor has kept us informed as the ship date continues to be pushed out. These types of delays are becoming more common with equipment that is controlled by microchips. The most recent update is that the units will be shipped on December 7th, 2022. Once the units are received, there is still some major work to be done, including installation of units, utility connections, startup, testing, building acclimation, installation of the flooring, final cleanup, and the punch list. Next project is Henry Miller parking lot. This project is moving forward after tonight. There's a change order that will be presented on the agenda this evening. The change order includes a cost for enhanced security modifications and automatic gate components, as well as for unforeseen conditions on the property, especially where it is adjacent to Pacheco Boulevard. The contractor will continue work next week and does not foresee any additional delays on this project. Lofton Stadium, new concessions, restroom, and athletic buildings project. This is on schedule and moving along as planned. The perimeter fence line will be surveyed next week. The existing fence will be removed in 100-feet sections and reinstalled the same day. BMY, our contractor, will be contacting the neighboring homeowners to notify them of when the work will be performed and handle any issues that arise regarding securing areas with temporary fencing if necessary. The team buildings 100 and 200 have been laid out and under-slab plumbing and electrical work is being completed. A representative from the City of Los Banos Public Works Department attended our weekly meeting and will continue to attend them every Thursday in order to coordinate the work that needs to be done in conjunction with the city park irrigation system. And that is my report. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here.
It's a pleasure to be part of the district.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Okay, board member reports. Marlene, we'll start with you.
Okay, good evening, audience, and happy to see you all here today. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that, see you, because I can't see you because I don't have my glasses on. But I can see your shape. I can see your perimeter. Just can't see your face. This month, okay, so it's been busy. A lot going on throughout the city, a lot going on at the school sites. I was able to visit Pacheco High School's safety planning event earlier in the month, and that was wonderful. Got to meet some of the new board that they installed. Most of them I knew just from being around the district. I was also able to attend quite a few of the volleyball games the girls play. Those girls are pretty vicious out there. They look really good. Got a really good volleyball squad here at Pacheco High School in Los Banos. I was also able to attend the collaboration with Merced College. That's a wonderful event. I was there as a parent, grandparent, getting information from my daughters Hopefully, we could get them lined up with something in collaboration with Merced College to help them with their college education once they get to that point. So I think that's a wonderful program. Jessica, that was great. I know you have a big part of that, and that's a wonderful program that we have for our students in our district. And then lastly, I want to let you know that Memorial Los Banos, the hospital, is going to be having a flu vaccine clinic on October 21st and November 4th at the Roth Clinic. And the vaccines will be given by students from Merced College nursing program. And I'll be out there with them. I'll tell you now, this is going to be one of their first vaccines. But they're ready for it. They've been practicing on some models and mannequins, and they're ready for it, and they're ready for our community. And I will be there, and I will support them, and I will make sure that you have no problems if you come out and get your vaccine with us. And they're free. And tell your family and friends. Thank you.
Thank you. Nothing like on-the-job training. Right?
That's right.
Yeah. Stab them good. All right. On to Miss Moran. You good? Go for it.
We're good.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to echo some of the sentiments Dr. Marshall shared earlier about Marg. One of the stories that I wanted to share is, I believe it was August board meeting that we got some goodies. So she was very, very thoughtful for all of us. So not only did she have such a keen art for a lot of things, but cooking and baking. And I remember having a conversation where she knew some of the history going on with aging parents, right? And she knew dad was not doing so well and doesn't do sugar. And she remembered that, and she said maybe for his birthday we'll do something that is sugar-free, right? And so that's the kind of stories that Dr. Marshall was alluding to, that was Marg. And so not only is it felt here on the board, but definitely in our community. So definitely wanted to pay respects to the family, even though we've reached out, but still it's never enough to lose someone that you love dear and near. Moving a little to the joke, I will not be held accountable for some of the bruises that some of y'all get from flu shots. So I was there in terms of our dual enrollment presentation. It was well attended. I think I spotted over 60 or more so folks in there. We're already reaping the benefits of that. I met with an 8th grader today, and this is my daytime job. And amazing to be able to share a couple of stories of where this particular student is headed and how they're already set for, almost if you think of an ed plan, which is what we usually think at the community college. This student already has an ed plan for the next 10 years of his life. So it was amazing to see that, and that this is, coming off from just Tuesday. We have some late start classes on Monday, so that was it. I did want to make two things that did come up. There was great questions, but two of the things that did come up that I'm hoping maybe Dr. Marshall and team can look into. The request for an equivalent course list. So there was a question from parents if there was an equivalent course list where it could be better informed for parents and students so that when they're choosing a class, they know the different acronym between Merced College and what that equates to for their high school transcript. So that was brought forward. And then probably revisiting and seeing what neighboring school districts are doing in terms of the GPA boost. So that goes with Board Policy 6172.1 on concurrent enrollment in college classes, with a GPA calculation not being taken in consideration for college courses. So if we could add that to the list. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lieb.
Good evening. Few things. I attended the Powder Puff game, Pacheco High. It was a lot of fun. I was looking forward to seeing more football players as cheerleaders, but there was just one. Back in my day, that was the thing to do, right? But didn't see any of that. But it was still fun to watch, as well as the FFA barbecue and watching Mr. Waltman play softball. So that was. If you've never seen that, that's something to see. So. I went to the cross-country meet yesterday up at San Luis. So Tim McNally, for those who know, he is instrumental, I guess, in securing that facility for the meet. And there were 5 or 6 schools from all over that were there. And so it was a way of showing off Los Banos and the reservoir. And a lot of people there didn't know it existed. So it was nice for them to go and watch their kids run. and so that was fun. I went to the Miano Fall Festival today. I got to see my friend Franklin Oliveira dressed as a scarecrow. Never seen him. I've seen him as Santa Claus and everything else, but never a scarecrow. So there were a lot of parents there. A lot of work went into that event, so that was a great event. Also, before I got here, I went to the Creekside Soccer and Volleyball Championships. So I didn't know that both the soccer and the volleyball team are up for championships. I left at halftime. It was 0-0 in the soccer. So I don't know if we ended up winning. I'll have to find out. But yeah, they won 2-0. Okay. Yeah, so that's good. And then I want to thank the people who spend time making sure all the grass is green, mowing it, fertilizing it, watering it. Because I go by the schools in the morning. I live over by grasslands, and I see them out there in the morning, and it's kind of a thankless job. But I think parents and kids just take advantage. They assume that the grass is just going to be green and mowed and everything. And when you see it and you realize there's a lot of work that goes into that. And then also, as well, I shoot volleyball games. I photograph volleyball games at night. And when I get out of the games, it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And I see the custodial staff roaming around, cleaning everything. And it wasn't that long ago, a few years ago, I was actually a custodian at a school district. Not this one, it was a different district. So I was trained on how to clean classrooms and how to clean bathrooms and defogging and everything. And I can honestly say that I don't really like cleaning toilets in my own home, but when you have to clean toilets at schools and they do it every single night, we just take it for granted. So when I see those people working at night, I just think, that God bless them, because when students show up to class and it's clean, and so I'm appreciative of what they're doing, keeping our schools clean. And then the last thing is, Marg and I were in Rotary together for years, and because of her cooking background, we spent a lot of time talking about different things. Rotary did a breakfast twice a year, and a make your own omelet breakfast, and Marg always had suggestions on how to make the omelets better. And tomorrow I'm going to be thinking about her a lot, because tomorrow the Rotary Club feeds both Los Banos and Pacheco High football teams. We do it every year, and we cook the food at Fire Station 1, and we make rigatoni. And for me, it's like just boil the noodles and just put in the sauce. Well, she always wanted to make sure that the sauce was made just right, and players always loved the rigatoni sauce, I think, because of that. So I am definitely going to miss not seeing her around, and I'm like with Dr. Marshall, I don't believe it's actually hit home, but that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez.
Okay, thank you. Well, welcome everybody. Been a very busy time. I like to also add some comments regarding Marg. She would always, she was just awesome for the community, very dedicated, but she would reach out to me because she knew that I worked with the homeless, and whenever there was any extra resources, she would give me a call and say, come and get them. And I just never forget that. She had a great heart, and she is an awesome person, an awesome board member. But with that, it's just been busy. I was also able to attend Miano's festival going on today, and like Gene said, there was very crowded. There was no no parking spaces. They had a great crowd, and I know they raised mucho funds, so good for them. Aside from that, been very busy with my master's in governance classes and my re-election campaign. And with that, I'd like to just share, in my tenure on the board here, I'd like to share a writing that I put together. First and foremost, I'm very honored, passionate, and love serving as your Los Banos Unified
Ray,
School
I'm going to have to
District.
stop you there.
Pardon me?
I'm going to stop you there. We got a letter
Area
from
7
our
trustees serving as a school
I'll
board
turn your mic off.
trustee.
We got a letter from our attorney that you cannot campaign from the dais. Your mic's off, so nobody's hearing you. Ray, you need to stop. Ray, you need to stop.
I have served over 34 years as a public servant. I love what we do, and there's nothing else I'd rather do than you. I consider myself an incumbent with a good heart.
Ray,
Who serves with integrity, prudence, and excellence.
you're going to get another letter from the attorney.
My effectiveness is driven by my passionate vision for a school district that operates in the spirit of academic excellence, fiscal solvency, fairness, integrity, safety, and equity for all. The school district strives in all areas to be a model school district.
My apologies to the people who are watching on YouTube tonight. I had to turn the mics off because we were cautioned by our attorney to not have any campaigning from the dais. Sorry. So my apologies for the silence going out to you. I'm speechless about that. With the passing of Marg, and you already heard my comments about her, we held a special board meeting last week to come to a decision of how we're going to fill her seat. The two choices are to have a special election, which would cost about $32,500, or to do an appointment. So we chose to save the district some big money and to do an appointment. So the process for that appointment has begun, and that is by anybody that's interested that lives in District 6. You can submit your application to be appointed at the district office. You can pick up your paperwork at the district office. It is due by noon on October 21st. And the board will hold a public meeting where we will interview all of the candidates and make our choice for the appointment. So that is up and coming, but if anybody wants to do there. The process also includes the fact that I have to appoint a committee to take and verify that the people who have submitted their application to be interviewed for the appointment live within their district. So I'm asking, Ms. Moran, would you be willing to sit on that committee?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Lee, would you be willing to sit on that committee?
Sure.
Okay. So we have our 3 members for the committee. Thank you very much. With that, we're going to move on to new business. Lofton Solar presentation. Amir. Great. Hang on one second. I didn't turn your mic on. Sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry.
Say it again.
We have Schneider Electric doing a presentation on Lofton Solar and CalShip Indoor Air Quality Grant. So this is Elliot Feldman. He's going to do the presentation.
Good evening. Welcome. It's ready to go. Good evening and welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening. Thanks for the opportunity to present tonight. Again, my name is Elliot Feldman. I'm a program manager with Schneider Electric, and I'm really excited to be presenting for the Lofton Stadium project, some great energy improvements there. as well as a grant that we were able to successfully get for the district. Feel free to stop me at any point if you have any questions. So just a little bit of context of who Schneider Electric is. We are a global leader in all aspects of energy management. Specifically, I work in the design build energy services group. We're really proud to say we've been ranked #1 in our industry for the last 4 years. We've worked with some of the largest school districts in California, including San Diego Unified and Stockton, but also a lot of smaller ones. Alview Dairyland, all 250 students of them we've done a project with, and many other neighboring school districts to you all, including Modesto, Kings Canyon, Chowchilla. So we're very well versed with the Central Valley and the projects and the needs that you all have. We've looked at a variety of different things for the district, and for this first project, we've landed with the immediate need of helping out by adding solar over at Lofton Stadium. We're really excited to see the improvements that are going on over there, and we worked hand in hand with Amir and Dr. Marshall and your architect who designed the stadium to add some really nice solar panels onto the buildings themselves. They'll be flush mounted. They'll look really in line with the architectural style there. And the solar, the clear goal in addition to the sustainability offering is the cost savings. So we're estimating around $12,000 in annual cost savings by making that improvement. While doing that design, we came across that the site has some very old infrastructure, obviously dating back to when there were some spiders in there. Amir was not scared. I can confirm that. He opened it wide open, but obviously that was in need of improvement. And I did want to call that out because not only is that a critical piece for the solar, but as I understand, I think you're going to be looking to add some lighting and sound systems to this stadium kind of as a future phase. So we're setting the stage for you to do that and take care of it right now. We also, and part of our role is we do turnkey projects, so that comes with student engagement, which I'll talk about a little bit more, but really funding support as well as the design and construction. And so we identified a grant opportunity from the California Energy Commission. It's called CalShape, or the Assembly Bill 841 grant. It was really created primarily as a result from COVID, but it has indoor air quality improvements that are very beneficial from just general air pollution, and then obviously the smoke days that are becoming more and more common here in California. So we were successful in getting grant dollars for the district to go out and do, first step is a detailed indoor air quality assessment of your sites. And so from there, we get to identify where your needs are. And that needs assessment allows for us to go out and request additional money for any HVAC units that are not able to either meet filter requirements or are so clear past their useful life that instead of any maintenance or general repair work, it's actually for the replacement. In addition to that, the grant covers filter upgrades to MERV 13, so the highest quality of filtration. CO2 sensors that, again, will test and ensure air quality meets a great standard. And then, again, the other contingency dollars for going out and making additional HVAC replacements. And so looking at the 2 sites that we applied for this, we've gone around $200,000 that we're able to successfully get approved from the California Energy Commission. So in terms of the schedule, assuming that we have a successful board approval this evening, what we would be doing is completing the DSA review for Solar Lofton is our immediate next step. And just for a little context, because we're doing a roof-mounted solar project, that requires a full DSA review as opposed to the over-the-counter permitting process. It's expected to take around 6 to 9 months. So we've already submitted, we've got ahead of that so that we can install as soon as possible, ideally right when those roofs open up, when the construction is complete. But we do have to navigate the DSA permitting process. Through then, we'll do procurement, and we're aiming for a summer installation of all the scopes together. Our work is turnkey, so it does come with commissioning, training, and management of all the warranties, so that if there is an issue, it's one point of contact to call to resolve it. That's all I have. I am happy to answer any questions, and thanks again for the opportunity.
Any questions?
Please
Please wait for your mic, please. Go ahead.
What was the total grant?
The total grant was around $200,000.
200,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? Great news. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, that's an informational item only. No action is taken. On to item B, Resolution 35-22. Amir?
Ready to go?
Good. It's ready.
Okay. So after a public hearing, the board is asked to approve attached resolution 3522 to the existing Schneider Electric design build agreement for energy improvement at Lofton Stadium and indoor air quality improvement at Henry Miller and Miano Elementary School.
All right, so with that, we'll open the public hearing. Anybody have comments? 7:51. Any comments tonight on the resolution that's before us? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing at 7:51. Any questions or discussion by the board? With that, I need a motion to adopt a resolution. All right, we have a motion by Mr. Martinez, seconded by Ms. Moran to adopt resolution 35-22. Roll call, please. Dina?
Mr. Lead? Yes. Mr. Martinez? Yes. Ms. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Munoz? Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Pereira?
Yes.
Thank you.
The next page here. Lots of pages, hang on. All right. Next is the resolution 34-22, San Joaquin Valley air pollution. Again, Amir?
Okay. Board is asked to approve the resolution 3422 to file an application with San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District to obtain a grant to build a new infrastructure to support electric bus program.
All right, any comments or questions? If seeing none, I need a motion to adopt resolution 34-22.
Motion to adopt resolution 3422.
We got a motion by Ms. Smith, Smith, seconded by Mr. Lieb, to adopt resolution 34-22. Any further discussion? Seeing none? All those in favor? Excuse me, roll call. Aye, fault. Tina, please.
Mr. Lead?
Yes.
Mr. Martinez? Yes. Ms. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Munoz? Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Pereira?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Resolution 36-22, GAN limit. Is that also Amir?
Yep.
Yep.
Alejandro is on vacation. So the board is asked to adopt the 2021-22 and 22-23 GAN appropriation limit resolution.
Thank you. Any questions on this resolution? Seeing none, I need a motion to adopt resolution 36-22.
Second.
We got a motion by Mr. Martinez, seconded by Ms. Moran, to adopt resolution 36-22. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Excuse me, roll call. I keep missing that on there. All right, I'm sorry. Resolutions have roll calls. Tina, please.
Mr. Lead?
Yes.
Mr. Martinez? Yes. Ms. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Munoz? Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Pereira?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. All right, item H, HME FOT parking lot. Amir.
This is a change order, 3 change orders. The first one is the unknown sewer pipe, which resulted in changes to the storm drain system. That's the first one. The second change order is changes in the fence material to improve security in the parking lot, the second one. And the third one is change in design in the site lights due to several gas lines throughout the property. So those are 3 change orders. Staff is asking for approval.
Any questions? Yes, go ahead, Mr. Lee.
The, of the 3 items, 1 and 3, I understand, because it's in an area that is very old and there's no way of knowing about old clay
Right.
pipes. gas or sewer lines. But the fencing, I have a question about, was something changed from the original plan of the fencing?
We
or
went from 6 to 8.
And we didn't go to 8 to begin with because?
Because one of the things we were looking at is certain part was 8 inch, 8 feet, and certain was 6 feet. So to be uniform, we just did the whole thing 8 foot. Because when we looked at the design and we started, if you look at it right now, some of them are 8 and others 6. So it kind of didn't look uniform. So that's why we did, one part was 8 feet and others 6. And now we just, all of them 8 feet.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? All right, need a motion to approve the HME FOT parking lot change order request.
I'll make a motion to approve the HME FOT lot change order request.
Got a motion by Mr. Lieb, seconded by Ms. Smith. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? And it's carried unanimously. Thank you. Item F, Superintendent's Contract. Every year, this time of the year, the board does a evaluation of the superintendent. And we completed that a couple of months ago, or a month ago. And in his contract, it states that if he gets a positive evaluation, his contract will be extended for 1 year. I'm happy to say that his evaluation was very positive, and we are happy that he's here, and we want to keep him around. So we're going to extend his contract another year, which means he's supposed to be with us for the next 4 years, and he better stick around. And so we're happy to extend his contract. With that, I need a motion to approve the superintendent's contract extension.
Make a motion to accept superintendent contract.
Got a motion by Member Moran, seconded by Member Lieb, to approve the superintendent's contract extension. Any discussion? With that, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? And it is unanimous. You're stuck, Mark. So you're here for a while. On to item G, appointment of incumbent board members. And
Are you doing it?
go ahead, Dr. Marshall.
Okay, so it's recommended that you approve the appointments of trustees Jean Lee, Area 1, Marlene Smith, Area 3, Nancy Pereira, Area 5, and that's because you're running on the post.
That's correct. And this is in case somebody says, I've never heard them do that before. That's because we've never done it before. It was kind of news to us when we got the letter saying that this is a new procedure we have to follow. So with that, we are going to approve the appointment of incumbent board members because we are running unopposed. Need a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the appointment of incumbent board members.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Member Moran, seconded by Member Smith, to approve the appointment of incumbent board members. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? And it is passed unanimously. On to the consent calendar. These are a whole bunch of stuff that we have come to us that's pretty routine. So we don't do them all because there's a whole bunch of them. If we did them all separately, we'd be here until 2 o'clock in the morning. So we lump them all together. But any board member can pull any item on the consent calendar for discussion. Are there any pulls? All right, seeing none, I need a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the calendar as presented.
We have a motion by Ms. Smith, seconded by Mr. Martinez to approve the consent calendar as listed. It is a roll call, and I'll get it right this time. Tina?
Mr. Lied? Yes. Mr. Martinez? Yes. Ms. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Munoz? Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Pereira?
Yes.
Thank you.
In closed session this evening, we had one closed session item for action, and that was student discipline cases. Expulsion case numbers 55-10503 and 55-19877 are expelled for the remainder of the school year. Students are to contact Educational Services for readmission following the period of expulsion for a review of attendance, credits and/or grades, behavior, and recommended counseling. All students are referred to Valley Community Day School. On a motion by Member Martinez, seconded by Member Smith, the vote was ayes. Mr. Lieb, Mr. Martinez, Ms. Moran, Mr. Pereira, and Ms. Smith. There were no noes, no abstentions, and one absent. And it passed. All right, the next item is discussion, information, and future agenda items. Anyone have anything? Seeing that, we finished everything in closed session, so we are not going back into closed session. And so we're ready for adjournment. And with that, I would like to adjourn tonight's meeting in memory of Board Member Marg Benton. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Good night.